Thank you very much to everybody for your invitation. Let me first make 2 points which define our immediate political identity in Europe at this moment of the 21st century. First point, the Europe of the euro is a trap, as it was repeatedly said this morning, to destroy all of us Europeans. But national monetarism is not a solution. Supranational monetarism and national monetarism have a common denominator, monetarism, which means the destruction of the people and of the political expression, the nation state. The Europe of the euro is not a mistake or an accident. It is the product of a matrix conceived by the Anglo-Dutch American oligarchy, and in particular by their servant, Robert Mundell, a matrix conceived by the Anglo-Dutch American oligarchy in order to spread financial liberalization all over the world, eradicate the cultural and universal roots of Europe, and promote a criminal depopulation in the whole transatlantic world. At this point, the euro system has self-destroyed, the euro is in the way to the graveyard, and not even the dead would vote for it. Second point, nobody has a right, under the fake pretexts of federalism, Europeanism, or even mistaken nationalism, nobody has a right to do away with the historical friendship of Germany and France as nation-states, one of the most noble undertakings of the second half of the 20th century. The issue is not to look at the past, to steer prejudices or grievances, to play on national humiliations, but to work together for the future, to locate our identity in the future, to be loyal to the best of our common past. When you have a pillar, you build with it. As a patriot, a true European, and a world citizen. This means to lift our eyes way above our nostrils, as it was said before by Elgazep Larouche with more polite words, and think in terms of the entire world, the United States, Russia, and Asia. It means to think while having always in mind the advantage of the other. Not selfishness, but the principle of entente, détente, and cooperation among nation-states, as if it was inscribed in the 1648 Treaty of Westphalia. We have now reached the closing of the year 2013, the year of the French-German friendship, 50 years after the de Gaulle-Adenauer Élysée Treaty. What have we made of those 50 years? About nothing. Nothing. It's not merely because of us, Germans and French. 1963, and it was, as it was also said this morning, has been the year of the murder of John Kennedy, the year when a vision of the future collapsed in the whole transatlantic world. But we have been prey of this collapse. It has happened somehow with our consent. As a consequence, it is not any longer in Europe that we can start a new endeavor for the world because we have allowed the rape of Europe. Therefore, we cannot be the first voice in the chorus of world people and nations. But we have nonetheless a long story behind us, a history which is not only sound and fury, but also made of beauty and greatness. And that is mandate of our history, and because the vision of our predecessors is not dead in us, we are still alive, despite all what we have not done. Alive if we muster the power to contribute something for the future. This means, first, to free our countries from the dictatorship of the city and Wall Street and of their collaborators in our continent, the like of Deutsche Bank, BNP Paribas, Société Générale, and other banking casinos. All our main firms have fallen under their control. If we don't fight to break that grip, with a Glass-Steagall principle, we are going to be doomed. We have first to clean the house to be able to build something valuable. To succeed, to muster enough forces, we should be in a permanent cooperation with those that lead the same fight in the United States, the fight for a return to a true economically constitutional United States, which means for the United States to recover its soul, the seminal fight of Lyndon LaRouche and the LaRouche Political Committee action. Second, we have to launch a credit system, a bet on the future, based on the principle of national banking. An economy needs a leading body, as an orchestra also needs a conductor. After cleaning the house, we need to compose a new one based on the most advanced technologies and the highest possible types of energy flux densities. This means in Germany to drop the energy transition towards lower forms of energy density which lead to your self-destruction. And the romantic dreams of windmills and solar energy, they are the insane brown coal mines and imports of American coal, and under that, the regression towards no future. What a shame. On the German side, the country which initiated the maglev and the high-temperature reactors now drops nuclear energy and accepts to self-destroy for Merkelian, I must say, demagogic reasons. While on the French side, they bet on reducing energy consumption by 50% between now and 250. Who are we? Where are we? Where is France, which sides with Netanyahu and the Saudi sheikhs and Qatar emirs to beg a few alms? Instead of looking at our nostrils and self-destroying, it is time to join the builders of the world land bridge, of which Europe has no other choice, if it wants to survive, to become a pillar. To proceed as patriots and world citizens working for the future of humanity, we have to put an end, and an end forever, to the oligarchical Euro system, which was built to integrate Europe into the empire of the financial one world system, to make out of us Europeans the ugly slaves of the money cult. Our Europe, not theirs, should be based on the entente, détente and cooperation of nation-states with a community of purpose. For that, we should look ahead and beyond ourselves at the level of a Trans-Pacific land bridge as a connection of our Eurasian land bridge and our vision of Mediterranean development. There is a need to go east in Europe, as well as a need to go west in the United States, not to face enemies, but to rejuvenate ourselves with an Asian input and kick from the Atlantic to the Sea of China. We have to put an end to our ridiculous get-together of midgets, making senseless arrangements in some dark Brussels nights. I would say in some dark Brussels back rooms. And become instead Davids to challenge and defeat the empire of the new Goliath. Let us then take our slings and aim at the heart of our oppressors. Enough with political compromises. The only way to get out of our self-destructive European pessimism is to fight for the future. Our lives may be put at stake in the fight, but inside ourselves, we are going to feel that sense of happiness conveyed by a true commitment to beauty, truth, and justice. We have lost it. We can regain it. Let's be daring in the name of those that suffer so much in Greece, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, and worse, in Africa. Our own humanity, as French, as Germans, as Europeans, lies in our commitment to their humanity. If we don't act according to what we know to be good, truthful and just, our punishment would be to look as a caricature of our enemies. Why? Because at this moment of history, to abstain means to collaborate with evil. If we abstain, evil will take care of us. Now look at how the world would be beautiful with a community of development among the people of the earth, of which the German and French friendship should be an inspiration. Look at what Merkel and Hollande are doing with us. Look instead at the joy of the few French and German elected officials who met at Arswiller about 3 months ago, happy to have fulfilled their duty by doing something unexpected and right, something that Merkel and Hollande have never done and will never do. Look at how the world would be beautiful if we keep our principles without compromise. We owe it to our friends of the past, poets, philosophers, and composers, and we owe it to generations to come. Thank you.